and welcome back to Mysteries Channel. So yesterday I had that huge long overview on Operation Sunstreak. I felt like I had to get that out of the way, and I felt like I kind of had to scroll through every single thing so that you guys knew that I wasn't just piecing together a bunch of crap and making it up. So today I thought I would go over some of the ancient sites that I found. Now there are tons of them out there on the CIA website that you can find, and I chose the ones that I initially found, and those were the ones tied to ancient sites because that's what I was originally looking up, trying to figure out if there was a correlation between bases, ancient sites, and ley lines. So I'm going to go over just 5 of the ones that I found, and yeah, here we go. Note on this one, and coordinates. The coordinates must mean that this is a CRV session, and that is a coordinate remote view session. And someone wrote on here, new target, remember our discussions on communication skills. Remember also that I'm not there with you, so help me out. Okay, the target was the Hagia Sophia, once one of the largest Christian churches in the world and now a museum. The structure was first dedicated by the Emperor Justinian over 1400 years ago. The various domes and semi-domes which spot the roof of the elaborate and complex structure are accompanied by 2 slender Muslim minarets, accepting the fact that the church fell into the hands of the Islam in the past. Located in Istanbul, the current structure lies on the grounds of the original structure which, like most of ancient Constantinople, was destroyed by invading armies. The 2 striking minarets are added in 1453 when the church fell to the Ottoman Turks. Source began her initial descriptives in a very positive manner, stating that the site had a circular, round component with some of the circles not closed. Other concepts provided by Source in the early phase of the session included the fact that the site had a big, white, alone aspect to it, with an impression of moving, and a long meeting area. However, at this point, the source had yet to perceive or at least report on the presence of a specific structure. This unusual fact continued for the remainder of the session. This became especially frustrating since the source continued to provide further descriptives which may have well been directly associated with the actual site as squares, little squares, tiles with a question mark, little flames, candles, and a place, a special house, a place for the privileged, stony, hard, big, and the color gold. Source continued to perceive that the concept of an important meeting to seek a settlement, discussions, and the idea of a message running back and forth, prayer, question mark. However, no matter what the tack the interviewer took, the source continued to ignore the actual presence of this massive structure. In the light of the fact that the source reported so many of the probable gestalts relating to this site, it would be improper to simply state that she failed to acquire the site. The reason that the source failed to perceive the huge structure is something that does occur from time to even the most experienced remote viewer, and therefore must be looked at as an anomaly rather than a failure. It is expected that the communication between the interviewer and the source continues to grow. Situations such as the cited above will probably become a rarity. Now, this one actually has good handwriting, and these are all of her notes on what she was seeing as she remote viewed. You can see that there are a lot, and there are also rudimentary drawings. Here's some more handwriting, maybe from the remote viewing team. Okay, so the Hagia Sophia. The Hagia Sophia is also known as the Church of Holy Wisdom. It's located in Istanbul, Turkey. It was originally known as Magna Ecclesia, or the first church built by Constantius II, who was known as a man of war, in the year 537. It served as an Eastern Orthodox Christian church until 1453, when it became a mosque after the Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople. It now serves as a museum. The Eastern Orthodox Church is officially the Catholic Orthodox Church, the second largest Christian church. Eastern Orthodox theology is based on the Nicene-Constantinopolitan Creed, also known simply as the Nicene Creed. The church teaches that it is the one holy, Catholic, and apostolic, and that its bishops are the successors of Christ's apostles. Okay, on to the second case. All right, this one, I won't go over all the above part, but it does say mission Successfully report stage 6 type information on selected site. The encrypted coordinates were for Masada. Using modeling stage 6 worksheets and time movement exercises, viewer successfully reported relevant details of the site. Viewer has some difficulty dealing with AOL. If viewer assumes signal line value to either declared or undeclared AOL, he is inclined to follow wrong data to incorrect conclusion. Monitor must be prepared to demand relinquishment of AOL concepts immediately upon the identification of their presence in the session. I believe that AOL is areas of limitation, but I'm not 100% sure. Summary of information. The site is of an ancient structure composed mainly of stone. It is almost cave-like, with there being many stones stacked upon one another. The inhabitants of the structure are no more upon the face of this planet, at least in any way that we could recognize them as being what they were. The surroundings of the site are austere and beget feelings of loneliness, forsaken thoughts, time, and events. The area gave me a feeling of spooky, almost magical. The structure is elevated, protected, and multi-leveled. The structure has a feeling of space, absent of anything solid all around it, yet it is solid, rock-like, and immobile. There are curves and arches as well as corners and steep verticals, but the most prominent perception is that of time, heaviness of the site. Anciently, there was an event of enormous proportion which virtually eliminated the people who inhabited the site. There were people dying, things falling, smoke, haze, panic, and confusion all around. People were dying in great numbers. Their death was brought by their failure to do something or just by their actions. It was undetermined. Here are the notes to this one. And here is a picture of Masada. Well, let's see, what is Masada? Masada is an ancient fortification, the southern district of Israel, situated on top of an isolated rock plateau akin to a mesa. It is located on the eastern edge of the Judean desert and overlooking the Dead Sea. Herod the Great built 2 places for himself on the mountain and fortified Masada between 37 and 31 BCE. According to Josephus, the siege of Masada at the end of the First Jewish-Roman War ended in a mass suicide of 960 Sicarii rebels who were hiding there. The Sicarii were the first to organize assassinations, a unit of cloak and daggers. Sicarii in Latin means daggermen. The Sicarii saw themselves as freedom fighters, and the Romans saw them as Jewish zealots. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, case file 3 that I picked. Access and describe training site number 1030, Sacred Citadel, Mecca. The viewer is given encrypted coordinates and comments. Excellent session, excellent execution of stage 5, time to move on. 32 will write his stage 5 final essay on 890309. Received this stage 6 essay 890310 and will write his stage 6 essay on 890313 and start stage 6 sessions on 890314. This one is very hard to read. Highlight it a little bit. The site is a structure. The structure is heavy and has aspects of large sweeping curves, supported ceilings, and a high ceilings or overheads. There appear to be seats in large numbers or benches. Concepts associated with the word benches are pews, seats, wooden, stone, chapel, prayer room, and waiting room. There are aspects of, okay, I'm going to say what I think it is. I think it says there are aspects of pinnacles or pointed objects which are moving. I really am having a hard time reading this, so I'm just going to kind of go over. There are aspects of I'm not sure or I'm not sure objects which are moving consistently. See sketches, pages 6, 7, 8, and 9. The area around the structure is moving or has movement of many different types of forms as relative to the site were of elevation, looking down at large expansive areas of bright colored terrain with dark spots on it. There are doorways and rooms with high ceilings and austere surroundings or contents. Concepts associated with the words bare essentials are food, water, cups, bed, bowls, books, clothing, monks, monastery, sanctuary, prison, and confinement. There appears to plant life in the area, mostly if not exclusively below the site or in main area of the site. At the site was also one of comfort, warm feeling, or at home perceptions. Here we go through the notes again. I'm not going to read them because most of them I can't read at all. And there are a lot of notes to this one. And then at the very bottom, there's a copywritten article, an article about Mecca. Okay, so what do we have on Mecca? Mecca, a city in Saudi Arabia, is the birthplace of Muhammad and the site of his first revelation of the Quran. Mecca is a destination of obligatory pilgrimage, also known as the Hajj, set forth to all Muslims. Mecca is their holiest city. The historical timeline of the city is disputed, but in the Islamic view, the beginnings of Mecca are tied to Abraham. Abraham is the common patriarch that ties Judaism, Christianity, and Islam together. So in Judaism, circumcisions start with Abraham. Also, the covenant with the Jews being the chosen people of God starts with Abraham. Christianity reveres Abraham for his faith in God, and Islam regards him as a prophet in a line of prophets that begins with Adam and ends with Muhammad. We are going on to the fourth case file, and this one, the mission: to describe and locate an ancient walled city fortress in an arid region. Then in handwriting it does say, city of Bam, Iran. Viewer tasking is given encrypted coordinates, and then it says inclemencies none reported. 95 started the site on the 1st of June of 89 and received repeated missed breaks with only one impression, that of a structure. Because the impression was valid, I decided to call a break until today. When we resumed, beginning with the one impression instead of calling the session and beginning all over again. Today, 95 picked up from the one impression, continued in stage 1, and gained excellent access to the site. Okay, summary of information. Search was conducted after monitor informed viewer that she had good site contact. This occurred early in stage 4. The search was conducted on the large world map using CRV room using hot finger method. The target is an airy, hard, narrow, tall structure in an open flat area. Associated with either the entire site are the S2s of gray, white, green, blue, black, thick air smell, rough, hard, people sounds, bird sounds. The dimensionals associated with the site are open, narrow, tall, and short. The site has many patterns associated with this. These are sketched on pages 8 and 9. There is a road near the structure. The structure has a unique dimensionality in that it portrays a feeling of size simultaneously with the feeling of delicateness or fragility. The site is located in Turkey in the vicinity of Ankara. Other strong sensations were in Greece and the general area of the Middle East. Here are the notes associated with it. All right, so let's see what we know about Bam, Iran. The city of Bam in Iran is home to the Bam Citadel, the largest adobe building in the world up until 2003. The citadel was enormous, located on the Silk Road, and can be traced to the Achaemenid Empire and beyond. Bam was famous for its busy bazaars, its palm trees, silkworms, silk, and it is tied to the spice route. Bam was part of the Parthian Empire, which had a variety of beliefs. The most widespread of those beliefs were that of Greek and Iranian cults that worshipped Zeus or counterparts that displayed all the same characteristics of Zeus but had different names. Basically, they were blended. It was a blended religion of deities from Iranian and Greek cultures. They also practiced Zoroastrianism there. The citadel was completely destroyed by an earthquake in 2003. Efforts to build it are underway. And on to case file number 5. This one is from March 19th of 93. The following attributes were chosen from the target and concentrated on, by myself, the sender. Stone construction, ancient, Mediterranean area, religious, ceremonial, sacred, tall, circular, gabled, squared, columns, statues, idols, sunny, dusty, rocky, recreation tourist today, classical, warm, exposed rock, mythological, priests, different levels, priestesses, Erchthium, several different structures, Parthenon, Propylaea, Athens, Greece, hilltop, zigzag stairs, craftsman, famous attraction, a lot of people milling around, Zeus, surrounded by a cluttered city, Hera, gods and goddesses, Apollo, a lot of stairs, concept of climbing, hollow, old, I messed that up. And here we go through the notes. Joint Communication Series. The Joint Communications JC series will involve the interaction of our remote viewers acting as senders as well as receivers. One remote viewer will be designated as the sender, while the remaining 2 viewers will be the designated receivers of information during a specific time window set aside for this purpose. The time window will normally be from 10 hours to 10:45 hours. I think that is as in 10 in the morning to 10:45 in the morning, but it could be 1,000 hours to 1,045 hours. That just doesn't make sense to me. Immediately following the session, the 2 remote viewers who acted as receivers will finalize their independent summaries with supportive sketches. The 2 remote viewers who acted as receivers will then compare their composite findings and agree upon a prioritized listing of key responses to the target. In all instances, the remote viewers acting as receivers must address the most significant target aspects. These will be identified as a distinct and separate entry in the summary. Immediately following this session, the sender will also prepare a short summary of his sending activities that will reflect areas of concentration, including the feeling, sensation, sound, aspect associated with the target. After the 4 targets in this phase are completed, a target RV script sketch judging procedure will occur. All 4 targets will be placed in random order, and analysis will attempt to identify their proper order based on the RV data. This is similar to the procedure used in the December of 1992 communication experiment. Important note, the senders cannot discuss the target until after the judging process is complete. The 2 receivers cannot discuss their data with anyone else until after the judging process is complete. Here is a picture. Tourists throng the well-worn steps of the Propylaea, imposing entrance to the Acropolis. I am not going to read this because it's basically the same thing that I read above. And that is the end. Do I think this is the full packet? I do not. I think that just parts of things were released to us. So what do we know about the Acropolis? The Acropolis of Athens is an ancient citadel located on a rocky outcrop above the city of Athens and contains the remains of several ancient buildings of great architectural and historic significance, the most famous being the Parthenon. The word Acropolis is from the Greek word akron, highest point or extremity, and polis meaning city. During ancient times, it is known also more properly as Socropia, after the legendary serpent man, the supposed first king of Athens. Cecrops was a cultural hero that brought civilization through education and the installation of marriage. He is also the first to defile Zeus and ordain that sacrifices be made to him as supreme deity. He also forbade sacrifices of animals and mandated that sacrifices should be made in the form of cakes shaped in ox horns. Okay, so there we go. We went over those 5 sites. Now, I just want to remind everyone, and I'm pretty sure I said it during the video, but remember, don't trust what I'm saying. Don't trust what they're saying. Do your own research. I'll put my links to everything that I talked about in the description box below. I know some people feel like, man, I don't want to go onto the CIA's website. And I get it. I totally get why you would think that. But the truth is, there's nothing illegal about that. And if we don't go and double check all the crap that they're putting up there, how do we ever know? How do we really know if they are releasing information, what the information says? And yes, I know they are masters of misinformation, but why aren't we still trying to check it out and figure it out? Why don't we catch them in their lies? Why don't we see what the hell is really going on? Now, out of all the different branches, because I went to all of their websites recently trying to see if I can get this correlation with ley lines, and once I found Sunstreak and I realized it was not a CIA operation, I thought, I'm going to go check out the DIA's website. I'm going to go check out the NSA's website. I'm going to go check out all these websites. And Although I have a huge mistrust of the CIA, I will say that they're the only ones that have their shit together when it comes to the Freedom of Information Act and their reading room. You can search things freely on there and they bomb you. It's like a bomb of information. You go into their website and you type in Tesla, and I'm not even joking when I say hundreds of pages that are line by line by line, which each line is another click through that takes you to something. It is absolute insanity, the amount of information you can pull out of that. You go to any other intelligence agency's website and you can't even figure out how to get to the reading room if there is one. It is just a bunch of BS. So I will give that to the CIA. They have organized a pretty damn decent website. Operation Sunstreak. Do I think it's real? Do I think it's BS? I don't know. I thought originally that maybe they were doing this to see if there was anything to what the Soviets and the Chinese were doing. I don't think it would have gone on for 30 plus years, and I think it is still going on. So I think they think it's real. I think they're pulling out information using it. I went over these 5 cases with you. There's another one that I might do. It's dark. It's darker. It is not ancient. It is something that happens, I think, fairly recently, and it has to do with a weapon. So I am going to do that one separately. So fair warning, if you're not into things that are a little bit darker, just don't click on it. Don't click on it. You might not want to know. So yeah, there's all that. If you have any suggestions on things that you want me to do a video on or research, give me a shout out. Leave it down there in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and have yourselves a very great day. Thanks.